Picture this. A couple lies in bed, backs turned to each other, eyes wide open in the dark. No words. No touch. Just silence. Not because they hate each other, but because somewhere along the line, they drifted apart. If you've ever been there, if you've ever laid next to someone and still felt miles away, you know how heavy that silence can feel. That's what we're diving into today, the quiet heartbreak of a sexless marriage. What causes it, what it does to a relationship, and most importantly, how couples can find their way back to each other. A sexless marriage sounds dramatic, but clinically, it's defined as having sex fewer than 10 times a year. That's less than once a month. And while that number might surprise you, it's not the number that matters, it's the distance behind it. It's the loss of closeness, of touch, of feeling seen. It's lying beside the person you love and realizing you can't remember the last time you kissed for more than a second. And here's something most people don't know. About 20% of long-term couples experience a sexless marriage at some point. So if that's you, please understand, you're not alone, and it doesn't mean your relationship is broken beyond repair. It's a sign that something deeper needs your attention. A sexless marriage rarely happens overnight. It's almost never one big fight or one bad moment that kills intimacy. It's the slow buildup of tiny disconnections, stress, resentment, exhaustion, unspoken tension, that add up over time. Therapists call this pattern the avoidant dynamic. Imagine a couple named Javier and Sofia. When they first met, they couldn't keep their hands off each other. Everything felt electric. But as the years passed, work got stressful, routines took over, and arguments started to linger. One night, Javier tried to initiate sex, but Sofia said no, she was tired, distracted, and not feeling emotionally close. It happened again a few nights later, and again after that. Eventually, Javier stopped trying. Not because he didn't want her anymore, but because rejection hurts. He told her, "You initiate when you're ready." It sounded respectful, even kind. But underneath that, something shifted. He stopped reaching out. She stopped expecting him to. The connection quietly died a little. First, sex stopped. Then the little things, hugs, hand-holding, cuddling, playful touches. Soon, even talking felt like a chore. They weren't lovers anymore, they were roommates. That's how emotional distance grows, not through big explosions, but through quiet disconnection. But here's the thing, that pattern can be reversed. It's not easy, but it's possible. The key is to stop turning away and start turning toward each other again, to shift from avoidance to what therapists call the teammate dynamic. When couples act like teammates, they stop seeing intimacy as a battlefield and start treating it as a shared goal. Let's look at Javier and Sofia again, but this time with a twist. One night, Javier reaches out. Sofia still doesn't feel like having sex, but instead of just saying no, she adds, "I'm tired tonight, but I'd love to cuddle. Can we just be close?" And instead of pulling back, Javier says, "Thanks for saying that. I just wanted to connect." That small exchange changes everything. Because now, they're talking about their needs. They're not shutting down, they're meeting in the middle. That's what turning toward each other looks like. The journey back from a sexless marriage usually happens in 3 phases. First, you rebuild emotional intimacy. That means making small daily efforts to show love and appreciation, what John Gottman calls putting deposits in the emotional bank account. It's things like taking a few minutes each day to talk about your day, sharing a real kiss instead of a quick peck, sending a thoughtful text, or planning a simple date night. These small actions might not seem like much, but they slowly rebuild trust and closeness. When you feel emotionally connected again, the physical connection becomes easier. Second, you bring back non-sexual touch. This might sound strange, but some couples actually agree to a sex embargo for a while, meaning they decide that sex is completely off the table for now. Why? Because it removes pressure. It allows touch to exist just for comfort, not performance.
You kan hugg, holdan, snuggle, give a massage. What feel natural.
You're reteaching your body and mind that touch is safe, comforting, and welcome again. And third, when the emotional and physical comfort have returned, that's when couples can reintroduce sexual intimacy. But this time, slowly, intentionally, and without expectation. One of the best tools for this is called Sensate Focus, a guided exercise that helps partners reconnect through touch, without the pressure of sex. It's about rediscovering each other's presence and learning what feels good again, both physically and emotionally. Most couples who go through this process describe it as awkward at first, but healing. Because it's not just about getting back to sex. It's about rebuilding trust, connection, and the sense that you're a team again. See, a sexless marriage doesn't mean a loveless one. It means something has gone quiet that needs to be spoken to again. It's a call for both people to show up, to talk, to listen, to choose each other on purpose. It fades through silence, distance, and unspoken needs. But the same way it fades slowly, it can also return slowly, with effort, vulnerability, and care. If both partners are willing to turn toward each other again, to rebuild emotionally, touch intentionally, and communicate honestly, a sexless marriage can absolutely be saved. Because at the end of the day, intimacy isn't just about sex. It's about feeling seen, wanted, and emotionally safe with the person beside you. So if you're in that quiet place right now, don't give up. The spark might be buried, but it's not gone. You can find your way back to each other, one small, honest moment at a time. And if this story made you think, or if you've been through something similar, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think matters more in rebuilding intimacy, the emotional connection, or the physical one? Like and share this if you believe that love, no matter how distant it feels, can still be revived with the right kind of effort. Because sometimes, the strongest relationships aren't the ones that never break, they're the ones that learn how to heal.